Let's kick it.
Yeah, we out of house, yo, kick it!
Kick it.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of American Soccer Quick Kicks. I'm your host, David Wright. Do me a favor, hit subscribe right now, or you can follow me on Facebook at the official American Soccer Quick Kicks Facebook page. We are in an FIFA international window right now, which means the United States men's national team is in camp. Players have flown in. Here we are. I'm recording this on Monday night. Players are arriving in camp. We have a pair of matches to play over the course of the next week. The first match is coming up this Friday, March 24th. It will be against Grenada. And then we will be playing March 27th, which is next Tuesday, against El Salvador. Both of these matches are a part of the 2022-2023 CONCACAF Nations League. This is a competition that's a little confusing. It's still new. We're only in the second iteration of it. It started a long time ago before the pandemic. And then this is a tournament where the last time matches have been played was almost a year ago, last June. So this second iteration of the tournament was interrupted by the World Cup. It is something that is every iteration only lasts 12 months. They would go from June to June, basically. Or I should say it would end every June. It would end every June. There'd be a new one. They would start a new cycle in the fall, and it concludes the following June. So this is something that takes place really just in about 3 windows. This window that we're in right now, these 2 matches we're going to play, will conclude the group stage. And from this group stage, we will know who the semifinalists are for the entire tournament. And the semifinals and the finals will be played in the June window. There's a lot to this. I'll probably get into it in June when we're down to the championship. But all of CONCACAF participates. It's tiered by different leagues, and within the leagues are different groups. And only the group winners inside League A, okay, get to play for the semifinals. The United States is in a group with El Salvador and Grenada. And right now, the United States sits in second place by 1 point behind El Salvador. These are matches that we're expected to win, and we're expected to win our group. It's, by themselves, isolated, these matches don't mean very much, but what is important that we make it to the semifinal stage. So in order to do that, we got to take care of business in this window. We still don't have a permanent coach, so we still don't have a clear direction for the future of this program. However, we have called in a very strong roster. This is about as strong as it can get. We have a lot of the big names from our World Cup roster. We have McKennie, we have Pulisic, we have Gio Reyna, despite all the drama that's going on, which I'm not even touching on this channel. It's all ridiculous. You can look it up if you want to, but Gio Reyna is in this camp. We are missing Tyler Adams and Tim Weah only because they've picked up injuries. But there's only one player on this 26-man roster from Major League Soccer. This is an English and European League heavy roster. These are our big names that we're bringing in. Some of these names are people that didn't make the World Cup squad, but were always just right on the verge of that cut. So there's a lot of interesting players in here. Do we play our biggest names, the ones we're familiar with from the World Cup, or do we give some of these other guys that are playing abroad a chance to show what they can do in a game that counts? It remains to be seen, but these are games that are important. They want to get us to the Nations League semifinal. Okay, this is a tournament this is a continental, it's Intercontinental International Championship. It is a tournament for all of CONCACAF, and it helps qualify countries to make it into the Gold Cup. It is a feeder tournament for the Gold Cup. Everybody plays a Nations League, but you have to qualify for Gold Cup. Okay, so that puts this lower on the prestige ladder. Okay, but it's one that we want to win. We are the defending champions. The United States won the first Nations League iteration, and we are getting ready to conclude this second one. If you remember earlier in the year, I talked about how the Nation League results would determine who qualifies for the Copa America, which is the South American version of the Gold Cup that CONCACAF countries are being invited into in 2024. It's very important for the United States to make it into that tournament, just in terms of the quality of matches and competition and challenges that we're going to face in this current World Cup cycle, considering the fact that we're not going to be playing any qualification matches, since we automatically qualify for the next World Cup for being the host. I believe I misspoke and said last time that these matches are going to matter, even though we don't have a permanent coach. These are going to matter in order to get us into the Copa America. I was wrong about that. I apologize for the confusion. The Nations League will determine who makes it to the Copa America, but it's not going to be this Nations League. This Nations League will name a champion in June, okay, in the very next window. The next iteration of the Nations League will start in the fall. We're going to, and so it starts in the fall of 23 and it goes to June of 24. So it'll be that Nations League, not this one that we're about to finish, but the next Nations League that will determine which CONCACAF countries make it to the Copa America. In the meantime, even though we have no permanent manager and we have no clear direction for the future, we've brought in all the big guys and they've come in. So we have the potential to play a very, very, very strong team against Grenada and El Salvador. Again, these are countries that we should be able to beat, and a spot in the Nations League semifinals is on the line. Now, how do you watch these? Friday night, 7:30 against Grenada. Tuesday, March 27th, 7:30 against El Salvador. Both of these can be seen on TNT in the United States in English, or you can watch it on Peacock in Spanish. Now, I did just say that the Nations League will conclude in the very next window, and I believe that's true. However, the United States has announced they've added a game to their schedule in April. I don't believe that's a FIFA window, so I'm not sure what they're going to do. The European clubs and English clubs are still in season, and MLS is still in season in April. So I really don't know what kind of roster we're going to be able to call into camp in April, but they've created this new event where we're going to play another team in CONCACAF, and this time it's going to be Mexico. So you can expect me to have more on that as we get closer. It will be in April. However, if you enjoyed watching the United States play in the World Cup this past December, if you got to know a little bit of the team and got to recognize some of the players, expect to see them in these matches coming up this Friday and next Tuesday. This is a good time to tune in. These games should be fairly easy. We should be able to control it. We should be able to win, and it should be with players that you recognize. So I want you to watch some soccer with me, and I'll talk to you next time.